You can't say that.
In the car, 'cause the woman I was with, cause the woman I was with.
This service station has number plate recognition. So if you register with them, you just drive in, fill up and drive off and you get charged.
No way.
That's cool.
How did you both meet? What are your goals together for the future? So basically he called me up to discuss this job booking, and then 4 hours later we were just somehow still on the phone, and I don't even know how that happened. We didn't really know each other, but we had this hilarious banter that just kept going on.
It was actually kind of weird because I was out with my group of guy friends and we were actually waiting to go out. We were at my mate's office just drinking beer, and everyone was waiting for me to get off this phone call, and then they ended up just drinking in the office. But for the whole duration of the whole evening, I was on the phone to her, and all my friends thought that we were having like a work discussion. It was like really heated, but it wasn't. We were just kind of flirting with each other.
Yeah. What happened then is for about 2 weeks or so, we're just like constantly like texting and just kind of joking around with each other, and just had really hilarious conversations. They're so funny. I actually still have some of the screenshots, so I'll try and dig some up and show you guys.
No.
Yeah, they're so embarrassing. But yeah, we just like carried on chatting really regularly and just really liked each other's company, I guess. And then one
Friendship.
day
We liked each other's friendship.
yeah, each other's friendship. And then one day Kane said to me, he was like, hey, have you got any plans for breakfast? And I was like, no big plans for breakfast.
Breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah.
Breakfast for tomorrow.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, have breakfast with me tomorrow. And I was like, oh, but you're in Sydney, I'm on the Gold Coast. So he's like, I'll fly there. So he then the next morning flew from Sydney to the Gold Coast at like 8 a.m. to have breakfast with me, and then flew back home at like 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
It was
And that's
pretty
how
cool.
we met.
It was very James Bond of me.
Yeah, and he actually told me that. He was like, I hope you realise how badass this is. If I was still in the UK, it'd be like me flying to Spain for a chick. And we had the most awkward, like, first greeting ever. Because we'd obviously been talking for a couple of weeks, so we were both very, very nervous. Kane had already had 2 champagnes by 8 o'clock in the morning.
On the plane, it was free. You know me and champagne. If there's champagne and it's free, it's sacrilegious to let it go to waste.
You were nervous to meet me.
I wasn't.
Anyway, I was such a nervous wreck that as soon as I walked up to him, he was like standing on the like on the sidewalk, and I went to get up and kind of like give him a kiss on the cheek, but I didn't, like, I kind of stumbled on the sidewalk and missed it, and then he kissed my forehead.
That was possibly one of the worst experiences of my life. There's nothing more humiliating than meeting someone and literally kissing them there.
I just basically headbutted him.
It was a soft, gentle headbutt with my lips.
When did you decide to start your own clothing business, and how did you get it all started?
Oh, you can do that.
Okay, so I was at uni, and whilst I loved studying law, I found it to be a little bit dry at times.
No.
And I really kind of needed a bit of a creative outlet. So Kane actually helped me set up a blog. So in my spare time while I was studying, I was writing a blog which was called slinky.com. And on it I had like healthy recipes and like fitness, you know, exercise routines, and just kind of anything that really interested me at the time, which was a lot of kind of health and wellness news and things like that.
The concept was, you know, you come to this blog to help your body get slinky. That's where it came from.
Yeah. Now this was not successful at all. Like, I reckon I don't reckon anyone read any of my articles. I really liked doing it. You know, it kind of gave me an excuse to research all the things I was really interested in. And basically one day I was researching an article on the best yoga mat. So I was looking into this a little bit and suddenly realized that all of the yoga mats that I could find were made with PVC, which is a really harmful chemical to the environment. And I found that to be a little bit strange and really counterintuitive, because yogis are inherently like eco-friendly earthling type beings. So I thought it was weird that the tool that they use is something that's really harmful to the environment rather than, you know, an eco-friendly product. And so I kind of mentioned this to Kane, and we thought there might be a really cool opportunity there to create some yoga mats that were made with natural fibers. And we pretty much used all of our savings to manufacture these yoga mats and import them to Australia. And we were in a 1-bedroom apartment, and we bought 300 yoga mats and had nowhere to put them other than our front room. So our front room was just covered in yoga mats, and of course we both still had full-time jobs. So basically we spent all our savings on these yoga mats, and we had run out of money and had absolutely no marketing budget at all.
Literally broke.
Yeah.
Broke.
So the only thing that we could think to do was on the weekends go out, and Kane was like, right, get on the yoga mat, we're going to take some photos. So we would just take photos and put them on Instagram. And I didn't have a following at all at this point. Like,
No.
I just had like maybe 700 people that followed me.
It wasn't that. It was 300 or 400. But
Yeah.
the plan was that maybe some of our friends would want to buy these yoga mats as well. So that's why we did that.
Yeah.
And bizarrely enough, one of our friends who we didn't know was really into yoga and had a yoga studio literally bought 100 yoga mats. So
Yeah.
our first ever order was for 100 yoga mats, which gave us enough kind of capital to go and reorder and start again and kind of start the whole ordering, manufacture, import process again.
Yeah, so from there we kind of realized that Instagram could be a really good tool to market our business on, and that was really our only goal with social media. And then we kind of found that that worked really well for us. We put a lot of effort into it, and you know, my personal Instagram actually grew really quickly. I got, I think, my first million in a year.
Just about, I think 13 months, yeah. Everything we've done on social media has kind of happened by accident because we tried to start a yoga mat company, and that still exists now. So if you want to check it out, it's at slinky.com.
How do you stay motivated and creative? I'm finding it so hard.
I think it's a mixture of being inspired by the right sort of accounts and the right sort of people. I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't hang out with people that are toxic or negative to your kind of mindset. What we do is a kind of an unusual and relatively new career. So there's a lot of haters out there that are always wanting to bring you down, and if you listen to that, well, that's going to get you a bit sad. So I find that hanging out with the right sort of people who also do similar stuff, it really keeps you motivated to just keep going.
Honestly, I think the fact that we both had to quit our jobs, and that was a big risk, you know, because we put in a lot of effort to build ourselves up to a certain level of education and whatnot, and then quitting that career path and kind of relying on yourself means you have to hustle. Like, you've got no other choice other than to succeed at that point, because you're kind of relying on yourself, and if you don't succeed, then you've really
Well, you're going to be hungry.
yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, so to a certain extent, I always think there is a lot to be said about taking that big risk. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to quit my job and follow my dream because it's too big of a risk. But sometimes that's actually such a drive to make sure that you put in everything that you've got and make sure that you succeed, because there's no other option.
We didn't quit our jobs at the same time. Pia quit her job first. The thought process was, I was working as a creative director, so I was earning enough money to cover rent and to cover food and to kind of put clothes on our back,
Yeah.
but not much more. So I said to Pia, look, if you can make this Slinky thing and the social media thing work over the next 6 months-ish, I'll support that. If we can't make it work in 6 months, then maybe you should go back to getting a regular job. So we had this kind of pretty finite timeline, and Pia had this window of opportunity to really work hard. And I think when you've got that time goal at the end there, you're going to hustle and make it work, right?
Exactly.
And that's what she did. So she worked really, really hard, like every day. She quit her job and just worked every day on this, like 18 hours a day for 6 months straight.
Yeah.
And we could start to see the returns coming back financially. At that point, I was also in a position to quit my job, and that was when things really started moving. So we did it in this kind of two-pronged attack, and that was pretty, it was good. It was kept it safe.
Your skin always looks so flawless. What do you use?
Oh, thanks for asking. I don't even use soap. I soap my armpits and from here down, but I only use water on my face. I don't like putting all that chemicals in my face.
Do you do the Princess Diana trick?
10 splashes.
10 splashes of icy cold water.
Yeah.
Says Princess Diana and Kane VATO. I think I'm actually going to make a specific skincare routine video because I noticed a fair few people are asking about this. So I'm going to do that. So keep an eye out for that. What does a day in your life consist of? Is your day mainly Slinky based and you work YouTube and socials around that, or do you have another system?
That's a funny question because everyone, even my mates, think that we do nothing.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh yeah, I spent the afternoon having wine and blah blah blah. That just means that we're doing social media well, because we're not. We work like probably 12 to 14 hours a day most days, and 80% of that is on Slinky because we're building a brand. The fact that we do social media as well is really great, and it's a really amazing added bonus that just drives extra traffic to Slinky, but everything we do ultimately is because of Slinky.
Yeah. Well, realistically, we view all of that as our business. We are lucky in that there is a lot of variance in what we do, but basically maintaining our online properties and our social media really helps drive our business overall. So it's some days are vlog days where we just gallivant around and have fun, but a lot of the time is spent behind the scenes, you know, actually working out deals and creating the content and, you know, computer hours. Sometimes we wish we were like just vlogging and that's all we had to do, you know, wake up and vlog ourselves doing something fun. But realistically, how we've built our business is there's a fair few working and moving bits, so we have to make sure that we're kind of like juggling a few plates at the same time and making sure everything's updated. When do you turn business off and spend quality time together?
8 p.m. every day without fail.
Yeah, because we are in a relationship and also business partners. We actually have a rule that we just stop at 8 p.m. and hang out and don't respond to any emails or anything. Really.
I don't respond to any emails during the day either, but anyway.
But definitely not after 8 p.m.
No, we wake up at 5:30, kind of try and get out of bed by about 6, and then walk the dog, go to the gym, and then normally start work at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. And then Christina arrives at 10.
Yeah. And then we just work for the whole day, and then about 8 o'clock at night, everything switches off and we hang out and, you know, veg out, watch some Netflix, watch some YouTube.
You can tell when we finish work because normally that's the time that we post PIA'S Instagram post.
Yes. Your body goals, how often do you work out?
I'm not body goals.
And are you on a diet or just blessed?
I'm blessed with a dad bod. Oh, are they talking to you?
Pia, I'm also dying to know your food regime and what kind of food you are avoiding apart from meat and milk.
Eating with Pia is horrible.
My diet is about, I would say, like 95% plant-based. I still currently eat a little bit of fish and chicken at times, but I don't eat any red meat. I haven't in about 2 years.
You only eat white meat like once a month if forced, sort of thing.
So I'm pretty much, I would say, vegetarian, but every now and then, like, the thing is, I don't want to be so strict with it and label it, because as soon as I label something, I know that's when I want what I've said I can't have. So I just choose to eat in a really clean and healthy way. I love vegetables. I love eating like the rainbow, and getting really experimental with fun foods like that. So a lot of what we do is fresh fruit and vegetables, but I don't really cut out anything, so I still eat carbs. People say that carbs is like the end of the world, but it's not. You need energy for carbs. Just try and find good carbs, like, you know, brown rice, quinoa, wholemeal pasta, things like that.
I think the thing is you don't eat anything processed.
Yeah, I just try to cut out as much.
That's important, yeah.
So
because processed carbs make you fat.
that's right.
Healthy carbs will just fuel your body flawlessly
And give you energy.
Yeah.
So really, I really don't try to put any rules on it, because I don't think that's great for your overall mental, how you feel about your diet. But I really choose to eat as much real food that comes from the earth as possible.
Which is I think it's a good way to live. I have 5 cheat days a week.
Yeah.
We need to end this video now because we're just turning up at home and I don't want you to look out the windows and work out where we live. Bye.
The woman I was with